What's going on? What's going on? Welcome to World Kidney News. I'm your host, Steve Belcher. Again, I'd like to thank my man Jared Brown for that intro. Great intro, Jared. I appreciate you, man. So tonight on World Kidney News, we have a great show for you. We got Erik and Susan Vanderburgh. As you know, Erik, I think it's been maybe about a year, could be less than a year, just got a kidney transplant. We got his donor right here as well, Donna Moore and her husband. So this is going to be a great show. And then 15 minutes before we end the show, we got a special, and I mean a special presentation from Susan Vanderburgh. So share this video. We need more than 3 people on here. Come on. You don't see no World Kidney News nowhere else. You don't get this type of information, free information at that. I mean, so look, share this broadcast. Share this broadcast. I'm going to give you 2 minutes to share this broadcast. And while you're doing that, we're going to play this while you share. All right, guys, I hope you shared. Like I said, you see that jet? That's going to be us one day. I don't know when, but it's coming. So tonight, as I said, we got Erik and Susan Vanderburgh along with Erik's donor, Donna Moore, and her husband. So let's give these guys the VIP welcome. Here we go. All right, there we go. We got Erik Vanderburgh, Susan, and Donna Moore and her husband. How's everyone doing?
Good.
Great.
Doing great. Thank you.
Man, this is great. We look like Hollywood squares. Right. So, Erik, let's start with you because you're the main person here who received the gift of life from Donna. How does your story start with kidney disease that led you here today?
Okay. I was born with blocked ureters. Generic term for that medically is reflux. So by the time I was out, my kidneys were already damaged. So I went ahead and grew up with bad kidneys. And I probably should have had a transplant when I was maybe 3-4 years old, but they waited until I was 16. So at 16, I got my first transplant, and I got that one from my mother. And that one lasted about 4 years. And then I got my second one from my father.
Wow.
And that one lasted 27 years. I guess I was a little more compatible with him than with my mom.
Right. Wow.
But anyway, she's still around. He died last year, unfortunately.
My condolences.
Thank you. So then I resisted going on dialysis for about a year because I'd been on dialysis after my first transplant for about 3 months, and it was hemodialysis, and it was horrible. Half the time I felt like I was dead, and then the other half of the time I felt like worried that that's going to be here in a few hours. So, plus it was very painful, and I was actually unaware of peritoneal dialysis. So the doctor that I was seeing through renal failure. Didn't even mention peritoneal dialysis until about 9 months into seeing him. And then when I found out about that, I said, okay, I'll give that a try. Because if I didn't, I was probably going to die. So I didn't have much of a choice. I had 5 kids, and I needed to be here for them. So I went on peritoneal dialysis and had my ups and downs, had a few infections. Most days were, sluggish, couldn't really get much done. Got that kidney brain going where you can't really focus on anything, and you're always tired. Or if you're not tired, if you try to do something for a few minutes, 20 minutes or so, you start getting really tired. You just can't hold up. And then about 3.5 years in, it started getting really bad. The dialysis wasn't working as well, and my wife had been searching for 2 years for me, and I was aware, but I really wasn't aware. She put many, many, many hours into this thing. And, if anyone deserves credit and anyone's a star, it's Donna and her.
Right.
Without her, I wouldn't be here. Without my wife, I wouldn't be here.
And
the relationship that they forged is what made sure that I'm here talking to you now.
Right. And speaking of your wife, Susan, how you doing tonight, Susan?
I'm doing great, thank you.
Yeah, and again, thank you for your unwavering support of Urban Kidney Alliance. I appreciate it. So I saw I heard your interview with Dr. Bunny, and when you were on Warriors Quest last year with Erik, and Erik, you look fabulous. We didn't get a chance to see you last year, but I mean, you sound and look absolutely amazing.
Thank you.
Susan, I mean, you met Erik. I heard the story at college. The way you met him, y'all ended up in elective classes together. Y'all were doing 2 totally separate majors, but ended up in electives together. So y'all formed a friendship. But when y'all got a little closer and he kind of like told you about his disease, I know you didn't know anything about it. Was there any doubt in your mind to bail out or not deal with someone with a chronic illness? Did that thought ever just seep in your mind before you actually got really involved with Erik?
No, I was stupid. I mean, I had no idea. He told me I had a kidney transplant. I thought, okay, he's just telling me something about himself. And I didn't know anything about kidney or kidney transplants. I only thought he was just being truthful with me. And then, of course, he worked so that we could pay for the wedding. And then after that, he was sort of retired.
I didn't mean to laugh like that. The only reason I laugh like that, Erik, because I'm not going to lie. As soon, and I'll get back to you, Susan, but I laugh like that because what came to my mind is after your transplant, I seen you with a nail gun or something in your hand back to doing housework.
Yeah, look at this sheetrock behind me.
Wow. Amazing, man. Just amazing. So go ahead, Susan.
Where was I? Okay, he stopped working, right? That was he was basically retired. We had a business together and he couldn't do anything more with that. And a few years passed and he had to drop out of college. Yeah, that was a big decision. And then he later on got his student loans dismissed because he was certified disabled and not able to repay.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, I need to get my student loan dismissed.
Well, I mean, I think he had to wait 5 or 10 years. I don't remember. It was a long time.
Oh, okay. Wow. Yeah. Man. So Susan, you find out about kidney disease. Now, how did you go on this journey and end up meeting Donna for her to give her organ to Your husband.
I didn't suck her into it. I swear. Well, no, I was part of a lot of groups, and I was reaching out to anyone who was able or willing to listen to me, because I was really alone. I felt like I couldn't talk to anybody. So I reached out to everyone that I knew would know more than I did. So you were one of the people, Uncle Jim, and then of course Carol Franks. And then in the groups, I also met Donna. And I always asked, would you consider donating to my husband? And I've asked many people that, regardless of which group I was part of. And I didn't expect yes. That was like a surprise.
Mm-hmm. Well, Donna, are you in California?
No, I'm in South Carolina.
Wow. Wait a minute. And thank you. I know Erik, he's definitely important, but I should have said you're the hero here, because if it wasn't for you, Erik would still probably be on, dialysis or looking for it. And we don't know what God had in store, but we know you came along. Can you share with us, how did you see this post that Susan Vanderburgh posted? I mean, you're in South Carolina. I mean, of course you went from South Carolina to California.
Yes.
I mean, you don't really see nothing like that.
She went once to be tested, and then we flew out there again for the surgery.
Wow. Wow. Can you share how you came along her post to decide to donate to an unknown stranger halfway across the United States?
Yes. I was considering donating to someone here in South Carolina, and had started the paperwork here, joined one of the donor support groups on Facebook, and got the paperwork handed in, and then found out that the lady here had received a donor. So I went into the group that I was in, and I said, great news, my recipient has a donor, but I'm kind of bummed because I really wanted to do this. And then within 30 seconds, maybe, Susan had posted, would you consider pre-screening for my husband? And I looked at my husband and I said, are you good with that? And he said, yep. So I said, sure, why not? And then I found out that they were in California.
Wow. I'm sorry. What's your husband's name, Donna?
Dean.
Dean?
Dean.
Oh, okay, Dean. Nice to meet you.
Me too.
Wow. So Dean, you must have been on board with this from the get-go when your wife decided that she wanted to donate an organ. Did you have any concerns that she may need her organ in the future or anything like that?
Not really. She did a lot of research when she first started thinking about it. And we read a lot and really kind of checked things out to make sure. And from everything that we saw, I mean, the risk that she was taking was reasonable, and she was so determined from the very beginning that there was just never any doubt that this was going to happen. I mean, she never wavered from the moment that the idea occurred to her. It was just something that she was absolutely positive about, and so I was absolutely going to support that and do everything I could to help it happen.
Wow. Now, Donna, let me ask you. Somebody may be on here wondering. You mentioned that you were in a donor group. Okay. Now, as a donor, and with thousands, in fact, more than 100,000 people on the kidney transplant list waiting right now, as a donor, before you donated, what type of criteria were you looking for? I mean, because you got so many people in the groups coming at you. Will you donate to me? Will you donate to my husband? Will you donate to my mother, my grandfather? How do you weed through that process as an altruistic donor to find that one person that may be that match? I mean, because, I mean, let's face it, there's a long list of people waiting, and there's a small donor pool. So, I mean, with a lot of people almost vying for a donor, how do you weed out, like, what stood out with Susan Vanderburgh other than her post, other than 1,000 other posts in that group? Do you say, okay, I'm going to go and fly to California, where it could be other people more closer than California that you could donate, like North Carolina, Florida. I mean, I'm sure somebody else in South Carolina, Virginia. What made you go out there?
The support group that I was in was basically for donors, and it was it provided a lot of information on how you donated, what kind of test you need to do for donation, how the recovery was, all that kind of information. It wasn't really a lot of people in there saying, I need a kidney for me or my husband or whatever. So Susan was the first one who asked.
Wow.
Yeah.
I really think it was a lot about the timing, because initially she was determined, you know, for the person that got her interested in this, and when that fell through, the timing was right, and Susan asked, and it's something that was meant to be, because I mean the odds of her matching Erik were slim, and that worked out, and everything, you know, things happen for a reason, and this definitely happened for a reason.
Everything fell into place.
Wow. Now, Susan, when you hear this, that you were basically the only one that reached out, I mean, how blessed do you feel? I mean, did you pray when she reached back out to you? I mean, how did you feel when Donna reached back out to you after your long search for this donor? How did you feel? Did you feel a sign of relief, or did you still feel a little leery that this may not, you know, go through?
Mm-hmm. Yes, all of the above. I would thought she said yes, and I was like, I think that's what people feel like when they're proposing to somebody. So I was like, she said yes, so I don't know if I should tell Erik. You know, there was that doubt, because there were other people who've come across us and they said they would donate, but then it just didn't work out. And I definitely didn't know I was the only one that reached out to Donna. Maybe she told me, but I just don't remember.
Wow. So timing is everything. And I guess, Susan, you know, for somebody's looking for a donor, I mean, what would you suggest to them? I mean, of course, you was like, just kept going on searching and searching. I mean, you see it online, people on Facebook groups posting Jared and Jeffrey Brown advocating Donna to side, Jonathan. You know, it got a lot of people advocating for people looking for donors. I mean, and it seemed like to be all in the same space. So how could someone watching this show break out of that to reach a further population of altruistic donors?
I was just doing what I could, and I realized I needed to put in maybe about 20 hours a week.
Wow, you put in 20 hours a week.
Yep.
That's like a part-time job.
It was. And I couldn't focus on anything else except that. You know, aside from my regular job, going to school, and kidney. That was it. So my advice, I know other people have been waiting a long time, and I've met people who waited longer than Erik before I started the search for a donor. I know they've been waiting, and I wish I could help them. I mean, our pages for Erik are still up, so I was hoping to do something with those pages eventually. And I think the most important part of it is to have momentum, because we can't just run a campaign and then stop. You have to run and then keep going.
Right. Now, Erik, when you first heard the news that your wife found the donor or secured the donor, what went through your mind?
I thought it's probably not going to happen because I had a very high antibody level, and I said, almost certainly no one's going to match me, and I'll probably just be on the waiting list until somebody dies, and hopefully I can last on dialysis. I didn't want to put any kind of hope or yes, it's going to happen, because I don't want to be crushed, right? I'd rather just say,
Now, when did you finally meet Donna?
I didn't meet Donna until the day of hospital.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Right.
She's more punctual than I am.
And how was that meeting? Were you in your room already prepped? Did Donna? How did that meeting go? Share that with us.
Okay, so it's kind of set up like an emergency room in the back. They just have a bunch of little rooms where they put people in to prep them for surgery. She was already there with Dean, and I was still kind of in awe, like this is actually going to happen. So I was excited and worried about this pain afterwards, and unsure if this was really going to work, and there's just a whole bunch of things going through my head. So it was really hard for me to really say anything. Plus, I was still had that kidney brain thing going and really tired. So I just went over to her and, took a picture and told her, thank you. And then moved over to across the hall where my room was to get ready.
Wow. I mean, have y'all been in contact? Do you still stay in contact?
Yes, we do.
And now, Erik, when did it finally hit you that, when you got into that, you met her, when did it finally hit you that this was going to happen and everything was a go and your life that you knew of before was not going to be no more?
When they gave me the anti-anxiety medicine.
Say that again?
Some good stuff.
Gave me anti-anxiety medicine because I was very nervous,
No, I can understand that.
28 years since I had a major surgery, so.
It was Donna's first surgery, so
all
she was
those people
nervous.
that are worried about pain, it's way better now than when it was 30 years ago. I had almost no pain at all.
Right. And Dean, you said it was Donna's first surgery?
Yes, she'd never been in surgery before, so she was anxious, but she was so determined that it was like nothing was going to get in the way.
Wow. Wow. Erik, this is just, unbelievable that your wife found a donor and that donor flew across the country to donate. You rarely see something like that.
I agree. I was very surprised that she came all the way across the country. Not because she's terrible or anything. She's the same. Anybody, that's a big thing to do by itself.
Mm-hmm. Now, Donna, do you have any children?
I have 4 children. Together we have 7.
Wow. Okay. Man. And how were they supportive of the transplant as well? Your kids?
Yes, they were. Everybody was.
Man, that is awesome that you had a support system. Now, Donna, since you donated, do you do any advocacy for organ donation, or you pretty much moved on with your life?
Oh no, that'll always be a part of my life. I've got like the Donate Life license plate here in South Carolina. I've got stickers in the window. I've got T-shirts. I've got the personalized cups that I use at work. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. So do you advocate, for organ donation, far as people signing up or far as a donor card and possibly for altruistic donation?
Yes, I use Facebook as a means to try to bring awareness to kidney disease and the need for donors.
Mm-hmm. Now, Susan, when you first met Donna in person, can you share that moment with us? Uh-oh.
Oh, she's muted.
You muted. Oh, you still muted.
Hello?
There you go.
I'm
Welcome
on two
back.
screens. Welcome, it's Sunday. Okay. When I first met Donna, I was like, she's here. Yay. I thought, wow, I couldn't imagine.
I mean, when did it hit you that this is happening? I mean, when did it all sink in? Did you have a moment?
Not really. It was the whole process was like, I mean, she was telling me when they were boarding their plane, and I was like, okay, that's cool. And then something about a delay on the airplane at a different airport, and I thought, okay, that's cool. They're still coming, so I was like, I think it's happening. You know, that was pretty much like the moment.
Mm-hmm. Now, Donna, did you recover at a local hotel, or did you go to Susan's house? Where did you recuperate?
We stayed at an Airbnb house about 10 miles from the hospital for a little over a week, and then we came home.
Oh, okay. And what about you, Eric? How long was your hospital stay before you came home?
7 days. 7 days? I think it was 7 days. It was actually, it went by really quick.
He went home on Father's Day.
Yeah, the surgery was on Wednesday before Father's Day, and I know he went home on Father's Day.
Wow. So it has.
Like
Wait a
3
minute.
days.
So it hasn't been a year. It's just been since June.
Tomorrow will be 5 months.
Oh wow! Congratulations, Susan. Did you notice that the show was a day before the anniversary, 5-month anniversary?
I didn't notice until just now.
She keeps track.
I'm like, I'm not good with dates.
Oh man, that is awesome! Wow, Eric. And so Eric, I'm sure you feel like a whole new different person. I see you getting a lot done.
Yeah, I have 5 kids too. So not quite, but close. But all mine are young. So my oldest is 15. 9. So, and they're all being homeschooled right now, which is an incredible amount of work.
Right. I'm sure. Wow. That is awesome. Now, Eric or Susan, are you going to continue to do advocacy in the kidney disease community?
I just haven't figured out a way. But recently, I think I did come across something.
Right. And that's what I know you're going to share with us, the last 15 minutes. Eric, what would you say to someone watching right now? I mean, you had 2 transplants, one from your mom, one from your dad. Your mom lasted 4 years, right? And then dad 28.
Yes.
And then you waited how long before this last kidney? About
3 years.
About 3 years.
Yeah.
What would you tell somebody watching this right now who haven't even had one transplant that's on the list waiting after you had 2 and now you on your 3rd? What would you say to someone waiting right now, just like you did before June?
I would say that a transplant is far better than dialysis. If you are medically able to get one, you should do whatever you need to do to make it happen, because it totally changes your life. Uh, now I feel completely normal. I feel probably 10, 15 years younger than I did a couple of years ago. I can take care of 5 kids. I can cook. I can fix the house. I can clean. I can, assist Susan with whatever she needs. And I don't need naps anymore. I don't sleep 18 to 20 hours a day anymore. I mean, I get 8 hours of sleep and I'm good all day. It completely changes your life. And,
Right.
Don't be afraid to do it.
I mean, you look amazing. I mean, when I had you like that, I mean, your color, you just look bright. Your color. I mean, Susan, what's the first thing you noticed with Erik's change when he had the transplant in the hospital? What was the first physical thing that you noticed before he had the transplant and then after?
He had a better memory, so
Okay.
I had to be careful what I was saying.
Okay, but better memory. But could you tell the difference with like the skin color change?
Yes.
And because I know with a lot of people, you can tell that maybe a couple of days after they had the transplant of their skin tone changes, the toxins is cleared out, they look more brighter and vibrant.
Yep. I didn't really notice it that much because I was looking at him every day. But then when he was staying at the hospital and I went back, just to pick him up, that's when I noticed.
Right. Now, Susan, were you also looking at the Foley bag to see how much urine he was producing? Did that ever come across?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah, I'm sure a lot of people look at that to make sure the kidney is working, huh?
The first thing that Donna asked when she came out of the anesthesia was whether or not the kidney was working.
Oh, okay.
Literally,
Wow.
when she was coming out of anesthesia, she was asking if the kidney was working for him yet.
I mean, what selfless act to be thinking about, someone else other than yourself coming out of surgery.
The nurse didn't even understand what she was trying to say or what she was asking because she was asking if he had peed yet. and the nurse couldn't understand, So, but I knew what she was asking.
Wow, amazing. Donna, I know you said you left after a week, but I'm sure you may have had some residual soreness past the week. How long did it really physically actually take you to kind of get back and feel back to yourself 100%?
I was off work for 6 weeks, and the first week or two when I went back, I came home and was really, really tired. So went to bed early for those first couple of weeks. But now it's like I've never had surgery. It's wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
And there was never a lot of pain. She was just tired physically, easily for a while after the surgery, but the pain was very, very light. I mean, literally, even the first week afterwards, it was very light.
Oh, okay. Okay. Now, what about the scar? Is it a small scar, large?
I have 3 laparoscopics, about maybe an inch, and then I've got the bikini cut like a C-section.
Oh, okay.
And that's about 3 or 4 inches.
Wow. Wow. So what would Donna, what would you tell potential donors right now who may be sitting on the fence or have ambivalent feelings on donating, especially with the COVID? I mean, you donated through COVID.
Mm-hmm.
What would you say to someone or people that may be watching right now that are not dialysis patients or with kidney disease that could donate, as a former donor, what would you tell them?
Do it. This is the most amazing process. And one of the things that I'm most proud of that I did, you're actually saving somebody's life. I mean, we see little things on Facebook that Erik and Susan are doing that you don't really realize that people can't do. She shared a post about him having a sleepover with his kids, and I'm like, oh my God. I mean, we can all do that. He couldn't go swimming. I mean, just no tub baths. And it's just little things like that that you just don't realize that you're changing a lot of different things, not just the one kidney.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So let me just ask you this one last question, Donna. What did you learn, and you too, Mr. Dean, as a couple, what did y'all learn from this whole process?
I think just watching her and how she's responded to it, it has been so rewarding to her. And I mean, the whole process, just again, she never faltered. She was absolutely determined through the entire process, and it happened like it was absolutely supposed to happen. Everything went as good as we ever could have thought it would or hoped it would. And, just being able, again, to help Erik and Susan and see a difference that can make. I mean, I know that she gets energy from that every day. Just that she was able to do something. She feels like it was one of the more important things that she's accomplished in life. And I won't argue, she's done a lot, but I think this has been something that's just been incredibly rewarding.
Wow. That's awesome. That's
You
awesome.
learn a lot. You learn a lot through the process. The hospital and the transplant team, when they evaluate a donor, make sure that the donor is healthy enough to give, and they make sure that the risks are minimum. And they leave me with the better kidney. Believe it or not, he got the worst kidney I had.
Right. But at least it's working because he looks absolutely amazing. Now, Erik, How has your labs been over the last several months?
One more time.
How has your labs, your post-transplant lab?
Every blood unit or component measured is within normal range. There is nothing out of range.
That's amazing. Man, that is so awesome. I remember, when Susan was on the show, Warriors Quest with Jared, and you was on, and you were kind of in the background. But man, you look amazing. I'm not kidding. I'm not saying you looked it bad when you had the interview, but I could just tell a big difference. Just, you're vibrant.
I thought I was going to fall over.
Right.
Yeah, I was pushing myself against the wall because there was nowhere else for me to go to be in front of the camera. And trying to hold myself up. And I only had a few minutes, and I had to get out of there and go sit down.
I understand. So we're down at the 15-minute mark. So I want to let Susan tell us what she wanted to share with the community. Donna and Dean, you're more than welcome to stay on and listen. And I encourage you to do so. If not, all you have to do, if whenever you want to leave, you can hit the leave the studio button on your device.
Well, good to see you, Susan, and thank you.
Good to see you both.
All right. So Susan, let's talk about what you got going on. What do you have going on that you started that is beneficial to the kidney community?
Well, when I'm still a caregiver. Once you are a caregiver, you never really stop being one. And I realized when I was a caregiver, I've gone through a lot of financial issues, and that's like a major issue for caregivers. So I thought, because my background has been real estate, law, and finance, I should do something with that. And I just didn't know until recently, launching my credit restoration program. So with this program, what I like to do is to give a free budget analysis for any caregiver or medical professional. And I say free, no strings attached. And it's usually not part of a credit restoration program. But I figure, when I was helping Erik and then I was taking care of the family, budgeting was a huge part of our lives. And if I wasn't able to do that, I mean, I had the skills and knowledge to do it, and that minimized some of my stress. So I figured if I was able to help myself that way, I could probably help another caregiver that's going through the same
Right. Well,
process.
Susan, because with a lot of medical issues or illnesses, or say chronic diseases, and say if you have one person who was the breadwinner, and and that person got affected, and their income got reduced, and say all these medical bills start coming in, as far as co-payments from this appointment, that appointment, dialysis. I mean, some people could fall behind, and that can kind of mess up their credit, right?
Very easy. Once you miss a payment, the creditor could charge you a late fee, or they will raise the interest rate. That's happened to me a few times. And of course, that puts us back to feel like we didn't even make a payment at all.
Right. So, okay, so can you take us through this? Right here, you had caregivers get it done. And so you have schedule, and I guess that means someone has a bill or that's created, then you got to pay for it. You can't just throw it to the side. I mean, some people, they get, they don't want to see bills come in the mail, or they put it to the side. But you're saying, what if somebody that doesn't have the, they on a fixed income like disability, and they don't have enough revenue to pay the expenses?
That can get really difficult. And that's what I was working with, on my income. Luckily, Erik also had disability income. And I was timing the bills very quick, like very closely. If something was due on the 10th and I got paid on the 15th, I had to make sure I could make it by the 15th,
Right.
have enough. I just gave you a checklist. This is not the actual budget.
Is it this one?
Mm-hmm. This is just like a checklist.
Okay. And so number one, it says take inventory of all income and assets.
Yes.
But let me ask you, so for someone who may be watching this, say they single or they married, and they're dealing with kidney disease, and they overwhelmed with the disease process of just trying to stay well, and they can't manage this. Is this something that you help assist as well?
Yes. This is part of my program. It's not part of a regular credit restoration company. I've not met one like that. I mean, offering a budgeting tool like the one I'm offering. And I want to help caregivers because I feel like this is the best way, like a quick, easy way to manage the bills.
Yeah, Susan, I definitely like this because I don't think there's anything in this community, like you said, to help come in and help someone dealing with a chronic disease that may be on a fixed income, or their job got reduced or their income got lowered. And so basically what you're saying, take wherever they at, regardless, take that inventory of the income, your assets, like your bank account, whatever investments they may accrued over the years, their home, what that's worth, their vehicle, any life insurance or policies. And then you got number 2, make a list of all debts and everything. And once they do that, and then 3, gather estate plan and documents. Would that also include advanced directives, stuff like that as well?
Number 3 is more like directives, POAs, power of attorney.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not an attorney, so that's
no, I understand.
Not what I would be doing. But this is more like a list to get organized.
Right. And you will help them organize that list.
Yes.
Okay. And so right here, you had a profile of the average caregiver. So basically, you're saying the majority of caregivers are somewhere between 45 and 49 years of age?
That's according to the study.
Oh, okay.
RHCF.
Do you find that to be true?
I'm not within that age range.
Right.
I'm almost there. But I think that's quite accurate. And
right.
That just made me feel like I'm like the outlier of the research, and probably was experiencing extreme hardship as a caregiver.
Right. I got a comment, and then
Mm-hmm.
I want to put a comment on that someone wrote, but I want to share this first. It says nearly 70% of United States family caregivers are women. And I think it may even be a little bit more than that. I would say 80.
Mm-hmm.
What are your thoughts on that?
I think you're right.
Because I don't really see a lot of guys, even when I was working as a dialysis nurse, I didn't see
mm-hmm.
a lot of young guys bring their wives to dialysis or their girlfriends. If it was like an older population where the people who was married been together 30, 40 years, that type. But wow, that's really high.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Also, let me get this last slide. Profile of a typical no-choice caregiver. They married or partner providing care to someone typically 50.4 years old, 50 plus thousand annual household incomes, live with the caregiver recipient, and is the primary caregiver without any other help. Wow. Now, with all this, did you go through this list? I mean, far as, did any of this apply to you?
Yes, being married. The household income, not really.
Right.
The caregiving, the average age, I would say, because I started basically caregiving for him since 2008. That's also an outlier in the average. Yeah, but
now, how did you take care of yourself as a caregiver? What things did you do to protect your health and wellness?
I had to keep working, so I had to make sure I stayed healthy.
Wow.
Yeah, went to meetings. That was really something fun for me. I like going to meetings.
Right. Now, Mark Spears, this is the comment I wanted to put up. He says, that's really awesome of you to offer the free credit consult. It's ways more important than most people know. Creditors don't really care about people's problems. They just want to get paid. So this is an absolute gift. You're right, Mark. It's absolutely a great gift. That's why we wanted to share this broadcast.
Thank you.
But, if people sleep on the information, they're going to lose out. I just hate to say it like that. But, lack of oh my God, I forgot that phrase. Oh, my people perish for a lack of knowledge. And this is some great knowledge that Susan is offering. So let's just go back over and this slide right here. So Susan, so what you're saying, you are offering, is this for a limited time?
Well, I was trying not to make it limited just for caregivers and medical
Sure.
professionals, but my personal time is limited, and just based on how much time I could devote to each person that comes in,
Sure.
I'm doing this for free. I can only do this for 3 people a week.
Okay. And so what they got to do is they schedule a free credit consultation at www.credithealthline.com
Mhm.
or call or text at 951-395-0868.
Yes,
And then so they got to put in that code Steve, right?
that's right.
So you definitely got to put in that. If you don't put in Steve, it ain't nothing happening. So, man, this is great. But Susan, just share just briefly, how important is it for a caregiver that's taking care of someone with a chronic disease? How important is this free credit restoration service?
I've heard the phrase that if you're not able to take care of yourself first, then you cannot take care of someone else. So with that in mind, I thought I needed to make sure that I was able to handle the financials and then take care of Erik. But I took that one step further and basically created health savings and emergency funds for him and the kids. And I think a lot of people on disability are not able to do that because they have this fixed income.
Mm-hmm.
And they're afraid that if they don't pay their bills, then something else can happen. But my thought is you need to have a savings account because if something happens, then you don't have money and you could get kicked out. So
Yeah.
with
Oh,
caregivers,
absolutely.
it's very important.
Not only that, wow. All right. I mean, this has been an awesome show. Now, Donna, can you hear me? Oh,
Yes,
yeah.
I can.
So let me just ask you. You had surgery, and to recover, you had to have a caregiver, which was your husband. Now, how was that experience? Because as that ad said, about 70% of caregivers are women. But how did your husband fare when he took care of you after surgery?
Oh, he did absolutely great.
I was actually a caregiver, primary caregiver for my mother when she had cancer.
Okay.
So I've done that
Awesome.
before. And that lasted quite a while, and that was much more difficult than the situation with Donna, and that Donna was in much easier to take care of. But a lot of what Susan says rings very true because I know what it was like doing that.
That's awesome. All right, Susan, let me put this information up one more time. So again, guys, Susan is offering to this community. I mean, you're not going to get anything free. I mean, of course you will, but with this, which can definitely make an impact on your finances in your life, Susan is gracious enough to offer a free credit consultant to 3 people, you said, a week. All you got to do is reach out. We have the information here, and I mean, you can reach Susan, I guess, on a Facebook page, Messenger. Then you have the information up here. Any other way they can get in contact with you, Susan?
They could text or call that phone number.
Okay, 951-395-0868. 0868.
Right.
Man, this has been an awesome show. And Donna, I mean, I would like to invite you at a later date on another show as a donor, because for you to step up to the plate to donate to this gentleman and fly clear across the United States from South Carolina is amazing. It's just an honor to know you and meet you. And, you know, we need to get this story out there more to increase donor awareness and try to bring in more donors to help with this issue with kidney transplantation.
Definitely.
So we
The
have
only,
like,
the only regret that I have is that I can't do this but once.
Yeah, unfortunately. We had a gentleman I had on my show yesterday, and I ended Pastor Nick Gentile. He donated his kidney last year, and then several days ago, he donated 69% of his liver to someone who really needed it. So we had an interview with him yesterday from the hospital. He's recovering well, and again, another shout out to him because he's a double organ donor. So just amazing.
Yep.
All right, guys. Well, I want to thank Donna. Thank you, Donna Moore and Dean Moore for coming on. Erik, man, it's a pleasure to have you on and see you doing well, getting back to what you used to doing, spending time with family, housework, and any other things that Susan may put on your plate. And Susan, I want to thank you for reaching out to me to do this show. And I hope people will call and reach out to you to get this free credit consultation, because you can't get it from anywhere else.
It's a free budgeting. Is a budgeting tool.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Normally it's just a consultation, but I'm adding the budgeting tool.
Okay. All right. Got you. So, guys, thank you so much for coming on. And I'll talk to you soon, Susan. And Donna, I'll reach out to Susan to get your information, because we have a couple of other shows that I'm sure the host that they probably watching now would probably want to get you on and interview you as well, because you rarely get a chance to talk to donors.
That's right.
Well, thank you for having me.
Oh, absolutely. Take care and God bless. And Erik and Susan, thank you guys as well. And I'll talk to you soon.
Thank you.
Thank you, Steve.
All right. God
Thanks,
bless
Donna.
you guys. Take care.
Thanks.
All right. Bye-bye. Guys, this has been an awesome show. I want to thank you for watching. I want to thank Erik and Susan Vanderburgh. I want to thank Dean and Donna Moore, the donor, Mrs. Donna, for Erik's transplant. This has been an awesome show. Tune in tomorrow for Sisters Against Kidney Disease. I think she's going to have on Dawn Krakowski. She's just making her way around this community on all shows. We need like the Ricky Lake Show, Jerry Springer, Maury, Steve Wilkos, Jenny Jones. That's how we're going to be, guys. It's going to be just like that. I tell you. But more power to you guys. We love you. Let's keep this going. Let's be a community and network and help each other and help those who are looking for organ donation find a donor. So with that being said, God bless you guys. Again, thank you for watching, and reach out to Susan, please. All right. Thank you, guys. God bless you. I'm out. And here we go.
Do you know you could have kidney disease and not even know it? 9 out of 10 people who have stage 3 chronic kidney disease do not know it. The rate of kidney failure for African Americans is 3 times higher than among Caucasians. And one reason for this is that they are not aware when they have earlier stages of kidney disease. At a time, treatment could prevent the damage from progressing to the point when dialysis or kidney transplantation is necessary. In addition, due to high rates of diabetes, high blood pressure, and heart disease, Blacks and African Americans have an increased risk of developing kidney failure. African Americans need to be aware of these risk factors and visit their doctor or clinic regularly to check their blood sugar, blood pressure, urine protein, and kidney function. Be aware. Get tested. The life you save may be your own. For more information, contact urbankidneyalliance.org.